Dear students, welcome to today's history class. Today we are going to discuss history chapter number 4, that's a part 2. In today's class we are going to discuss the ancient civilization of this world. The word civilization derived from Latin. In Latin they call civilized. Civilized means city or city states, which means matured or refined life. Refers our material gains or material benefit what we gain in day-to-day life. Dear students, in this chapter we are going to learn about the world ancient civilizations like the Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, and one more we call Chinese civilization. Actually, in the beginning, the people were wandering in character. They'll move from one place to the another place in search of food, cloth, shelter. When they were moving one place to another in search of food, cloth, and shelter, they were nomadic in character. But due to cold, or maybe wind, or rain, because of the weather climate condition, these people were started to settle one particular place. Where they started to settle in a place, there the civilization began. What were the factors which helped them to settle in one particular place? Particularly the climate. Second thing we can see, where there was a plenty of water was available to do agriculture and to grow the plenty of the food crops and to grow the fruits, vegetables, there the man started to settle. By settling there, they were harvesting the food crops, not only the man, even to the fodder to the animal. There the civilization began. Dear students, in the first civilization of today's class, we are going to begin with Egyptian civilization. In Egypt, the river Nile is called as the gift of Egypt. In another word we call the daughter of Egypt. The Egyptian civilization began almost 7,000 years ago. But the river Nile provided very fertile soil for to do agriculture and water for drinking and even for the cultivation. That is why the people can grow food crops and even they can grow the vegetables, fruits. That is why the Egyptians called the river Nile as a daughter of Egypt or gift of Egypt. What is the contributions of Egyptians to the society? Actually, these Egyptians, of course, they were started agriculture. There's nothing but farming. These Egyptians, of course, not only they built their temples, even they built the pyramids. The most important of invention was calendar. And at the same time, even they were used writings. The Egyptians developed the symbolic or pictographic writing. The picture writing was called as hieroglyphics. It was consisted small drawings. That small drawings of writings they were called as sacred writing or we called as hieroglyphics. Papyrus was used for writing. By using the papyrus, they also written the books like Dead, Coffin Text, the story of shipwreck, sailor, or the important books which was written during the time of Egyptian civilization. These Egyptians had a great knowledge in medicine. Not only had a great knowledge in the medicine, they contributed a lot to the field of geometry, astronomy, mathematics, and even to the field of calendar. The construction of the pyramid was the best example for the knowledge of arithmetic and geometry. These Egyptians had a great knowledge in addition, subtraction, and even division. But they were not aware about multiplication. They could measure the area of triangles, rectangles, squares, circles, and also they developed the fraction system too. These Egyptians had a great knowledge about solar system. That is why they introduced solar calendar. In the solar calendar of Egyptians, they had 365 days in a year. In the year, 365 days will be there, and it was divided into 12 months. That one they called as solar calendar. The art and architecture of Egyptians. The Egyptians are very famous for their art and architecture. They built beautiful temples. Even they built pyramids. In the temples and the pyramids, they made beautiful carvings of pictures, even the paintings. The best example for the architecture means that the Sphinx, the Pyramid of Giza, the Luxor temples. These are best example, the finest architecture of the Egyptians. What is the Sphinx? Actually, there was an emperor in Egypt by name called Khafre. He was made in a single stone or a single rock, a head of man and body of a lion. It is about 240 feet of long, 66 feet of height, a stone carving which was made by the emperor called Khafre. That one they called as Sphinx. The another best example for art and architecture is the biggest pyramid of Egypt called Giza. The pyramid Giza is a tomb of the king Khufu. After death of the Khufu, his son and his grandson was built at the Giza pyramid. It is the biggest pyramid in Egypt. Its length is about 748 feet of length, width also 748 of feet width, and height is about 481 feet of height. To build such a huge pyramid, they used almost 23 lakhs of stone blocks, and the weight almost is considered 2.5 tons. It was occupied for about 13 acres of land. To complete this Giza pyramid, they were used millions of slaves. To complete this Giza, they took almost 20 years of time. And it is considered one among the ancient wonders of this world. The another finest example for art and architecture of Egyptian was the Luxor temple. The Luxor temple has a magnificent entrance, very beautiful entrance. And it is aligned with almost 365 sphinxes. As I told you earlier, sphinx is nothing but the head of the man and body of a lion. Almost we can see 365 sphinxes were arranged. During the festival time, these statues will be kept as a parade. Through the door when you enter into the Luxor, we can find the parade of the sphinxes. These are going to call the best example for art and architecture of Egyptians. Let us come. They believed or they worshipped many number of gods. Since they worshipped many other gods, or many number of gods, they called as polytheists. These Egyptians also worshipped gods, even the goddesses. There was a sun god by name called Ra. The Ra, or we call as a Re, is a sun god, is a chief god which was worshipped by going to call Egyptians. The Egyptians believed the Ra, the Re are going to call sun god, who was a creator of this world. And they only created Egypt. Then even they used to believe Osiris. They believed Osiris was a dead god. Other than the Osiris, they also worshipped what they call goddesses Isis. And even they worshipped the minor gods like Horus and Hathor. The Horus or Hathor or Isis were the minor god and goddesses which was worshipped by the Egyptians. The rulers of Egyptians were called as Paroha. Paroha means emperor, king, ruler. That is why I told you, the rulers of Egyptians, the emperors of Egyptians, they called as Paroha. They considered this Paroha, the king, is a representative of the God on this earth. That is why the kings and the wealthy people lived in the big and taller buildings or towers. People also given great respect to these the Parohas because they considered they were the representative of the God on this earth. Such a tall towers, such a tall buildings, they called as pyramids. In these pyramids also they were lived. Here the Paroha means a person who lives in a palatial house. Such a tall buildings are in a palatial house. Who were ruled this Egypt? The rulers of Egypt were Hyksos, The Egypts were ruled by the Arabian tribal community people, the Arabian shepherd tribal community people they called as Hyksos. By that time, the another community people who came to the Egypt, they were called Jewish. When the Jewish people were trying to take a shelter in Egypt, the people of Egypt, they hated these Jewish people. The another community we call Thebes, who revolted against the foreigners, and even they were succeeded to throw them out of Hyksos. Later on, this Egypt was fell in the hands of Sardanapalus of Assyria, the Persian emperor. The Persian emperor Cambyses occupied Egypt. Later on, Alexander was invaded on Egypt and he captured Egypt in now. The Egypt which was fell in the hands of the Macedonian ruler he called as Alexander. This Egypt also was ruled by many queens. Hatshepsut was the first queen or the first empress who was ruling Egypt. But the last queen we call Cleopatra. This Cleopatra was the last Egyptian queen. But many European or many Roman emperors who want to attack on Egypt, they were feared the beauty of Cleopatra. However, that was 30th century of BC. The Caesar's successor, the son-in-law of Caesar, we called him as Augustus Caesar, he defeated Cleopatra. After he was defeated Cleopatra, he was took her to the prison. While he was took the Cleopatra towards the prison, Cleopatra consumed the poison and she ended her life. Later on, the Egypt was fell in the hands of Roman empires. If you come to Egypt, when the king dies, or you call Pharaoh dies, or if the priest dies, there was a custom in such a dead body, they'll remove the inner organs from the body. It may be heart or a liver or maybe a kidney. Such a kind of inner organs will be removed from the body and they fill the chemicals in the body. By filling the chemicals, they'll take the white cloth. By this white cloth will be tightly wrapped the entire body. By wrapping the white cloth the entire body, by mixing with the chemicals, and such a body was curved a rock. It was curved a rock like a coffin box and kept inside in the beginning. So far we have discussed about Egyptian civilization. The Egyptian civilization which was took place in African country, in Africa, the longest river or the lengthiest river we can say river Nile. On the river bank of river Nile, a civilization was took place. That civilization we called as Egyptian civilization. And now, let us go to the West Asian territory. In the West Asian territory, there were two rivers which was flowing. Between these two rivers, the civilization was took place. That civilization is called as Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamian Greek word, in Greek language, Mesopotamia means land between the two rivers. There is a land between the two rivers. The land between the two rivers, they called as Mesopotamia. What are the two rivers? One is called Euphrates. The another river is called as Tigris. Between the Euphrates and the Tigris, the civilization which was took place, that civilization we called as Mesopotamian civilization. If we come about the Mesopotamia, in the north Hill tribe people are there. There were southern nomadic tribal people were there. Of course, both the tribal people were in nomadic. They were living in the northern part of Mesopotamia. Even they living in the called southern part also. The northern Hill tribe people and the southern nomadic tribal people, they tried to control over this area. They tried to occupy this area. As a result, the conflict was continued for centuries. There are many civilizations which was appeared in this place. In between 3500 BC to 500 BCE, there are number of civilizations took place. But those civilizations was vanished. It was destroyed. That is why Mesopotamian civilization also called as the cradles and graveyard of civilization. Because civilization will take place and also it is vanished. Why does it vanish? Maybe the conflict. Or another reason we can say, maybe the river which flowing and the rivers may be vanished. Or the flood may be vanished. That is why we called as cradles. At the same time, we call cradle and graveyard of civilization. What these Mesopotamians contribute to the society? Let us come to a discussion about the contributions of Mesopotamians. If we come to the Mesopotamia, the Sumerians were the first. They evolved the system of writing. To write or they make the picture writing, they will use the flat bricks. On the flat bricks only, they were writing in the call, the writings were existed. Followed by the Sumerians, Babylonians, Assyrians, Persians came and they settled in Mesopotamia. In olden days, on the Euphrates and Tigris rivers are referred as a Babylon. The northern part of Babylon was called as Akkad, and southern part of Babylon they called as Sumer. The northern part of Mesopotamia they called as Assyria. These Babylonians, these Mesopotamians, they also followed lunar calendar. Try to understand? When we are discussing about the Egyptian civilization, there I told you the Egyptians were followed solar calendar, but the Mesopotamians they are following the lunar calendar. These Mesopotamians composed many poems, legend stories, and also they believed that the sun and the moon is influence the life of a man. That is why these Mesopotamians know much about planets and even about the space. They had a great faith about the astrology, and also this astrology they based on astronomy. They divide a year of course into 12 months. Mesopotamians composed many poems and even they written many mythological stories. The Mesopotamians believed that the sun and the moon is influence on the life of a man. These Mesopotamians knew about the planets. They were studied about the space. They had a great faith on astrology. The astrology which was based on astronomy. And these Mesopotamians also followed the calendar. The Mesopotamians that followed the calendar was called as lunar calendar. Mesopotamians divide a year into 12 months and they calculated in a year 354 days. Actually, these Mesopotamians were lived in the hill stations. These Mesopotamians were lived on the top of the hills. But in the course of time, when they were lived on the top of the hill, they always engage in endless conflicts. So, Mesopotamian story of endless hatredness and conflicts were there. Sumerians, who were the first one who came to the Mesopotamia, and they used to worship the gods on the top of the hills. In a course of time, these Mesopotamians or these Sumerians, they left the hill stations, they came down to the plain area. When they came to the plain area, there they built artificial hills. By building the artificial hills, they used to worship the god. The artificial hills which was built by these Sumerians, we called as ziggurat. What is ziggurat? Which was artificially built like a mountain. But these Mesopotamians are going to call Sumerians, they did not have the knowledge about building the steps. That is why instead of the steps, they made slopes like a galleries. They did not know much about the staircase. Therefore, surrounded by these buildings, they made a slopes. To climb to that one, they made a slopes. But the Jewish people call this one as Towers of Babel. Again, if we come to this Mesopotamia, as I told you, in the beginning, Sumerians start to rule the Mesopotamia. In course of time, after Sumerians, the Sumerians were defeated and started to rule by Akkadians. These Akkadians came from Arabian desert. The most important ruler of Akkadian was Sargon. After the Akkadians, the another tribal community people who came to the Mesopotamia, they were called as Amorites. The most famous ruler of Amorite was Hammurabi. And the Hammurabi was made as a capital, Babylon. After him, the another family who came to there, Hittites, they were occupied this territory and they were the followers of Assyrians. The followers of Assyrians they called as Asura. The Asura was a desert of God. These Assyrians also occupied the West Asia, the entire West Asia which was fell in the hands of Assyrians. Later on, the Chaldeans who came and captured the Babylon, the most important ruler of Chaldeans was Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was the greatest ruler during Chaldeans community. As I told you, the most important ruler belongs to the Amorites. I told you, Amorites was a tribal community who came and occupied the Mesopotamia, and the most important ruler was Hammurabi. Hammurabi, he was built at a famous palace at Babylon, and he was very famous for Code of Justice. Hammurabi framed the Code of Justice. In the Code of Justice, almost 282 laws were introduced, such as relevant to the personal property, business and trade, accidents, if there is a problem in the labor, if there is a problem in the marriage, if relevant to the divorce, or slaves, rights of a man or a woman, about that one, they made various laws. But most of the law which was framed by Hammurabi is based on the principle of tit for tat, an eye for an eye, or a tooth for the tooth. Even Hammurabi was made in his law, there was a provision to give the share to the ancestors' property to the girls or to the women. Nebuchadnezzar was the famous ruler in Babylon, belongs to Chaldeans tribal community. He encouraged the study of science, but the Chaldeans came under the attack of Persians in the 6th century BC. 200 years later, Alexander, he was transferred his palace from Semitic peoples to Greek province. After that, the Mesopotamian civilization was fell down. Now the Mesopotamia, which came to the rule of Romans, or the Mesopotamia fell in the hands of Alexander. Slowly, the civilization started to decline. But who can I call Nebuchadnezzar? He was built a hanging garden. Actually, he was married a princess, and to make her to be so happy, in the hill, he was made a hanging garden. Who was made a hanging garden? Nebuchadnezzar. Dear students, in the first, we have discussed about Egyptian civilization, followed by the Egyptian civilization. In the West Asia, we have discussed about the Mesopotamian civilization. Next to the Mesopotamian civilization, if we come to the Asian territory, another civilization we're going to discuss, they're going to call Chinese civilization. This Chinese civilization, which was flourished in the plains of the river like Wangwo River, Yangtze, Sikiong. There are 3 rivers which is flowing in the China. On these rivers, namely Wangwo, Yangtze, Sikiong. On these 3 rivers only, the civilization took place. That civilization we called as Chinese civilization. But if we come to the Chinese civilization, we called as China sorrow. See, one side civilization was flourished. One side the people were refined, they matured, they get the material benefit. The same river which was helped to develop the civilization in China, the same river which was affected the life of the people of China. That is why they called as China sorrow also. Particularly, the river Wangwo they called as sorrow of China, a symbol of sorrow. Or in another word, sorrow of China. Because whenever there is a heavy rainfall in China, there is a chance of taking place of floods or destroys. That is why the Chinese they call Wangwo River as sorrow of China, a symbol of sorrow. If we come to China, what are the archaeological evidence about the rule of the China? It is believed the first rule of the family was Shang dynasty. The Shang were ruled between 18th century BC to 12th century. Almost they ruled 6 centuries. The Shang dynasty was overpowered, is captured by Zhou dynasty. The Zhou dynasty continued to rule in China till 250 BC. In Zhou dynasty, king was allotted the highest positions. The king is the head of the kingdom, but he allotted the portions of the land to the officials. The land or the portion which is given to the officials, in return, those officials has to give a military support to the king. During the time of battle, they have to give a military support to the king. Apart from that, there were the merchants, there were the farmers, there were the slaves who were lived in the kingdom of Zhou dynasty. But the soldiers were enjoyed the dignified place in the society. The soldiers one who take part in the war, they used to wear the bronze helmets, metal armors. Even the soldiers were used the bronze daggers, axe, bows, and iron-tipped arrows. All these weapons were used during the time of war by the soldiers. Let us come to the economic condition of China. Shang dynasty was developed agriculture. They were well organized the irrigation system to do the agriculture. They used to grow the plenty of rice. The Chinese used to wear the thin cotton dresses, and they used to manufacture silk. The silk manufacturing industry was prominent at the time of Chinese civilization. The Chinese were used to make excellent pots, and the pots was decorated and learned to make the various objects from porcelain. Now let us come to the art and architecture of the Chinese. Actually, the Chinese built many palaces. Not only built the palaces, even they built pagodas. Pagoda is nothing but the Buddhist temples which was built in China, they called as pagodas. A famous art and architecture of China means there is none other than the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is built by Shi Huangdi. Why they built the Great Wall of China means because the Mongolites frequently used to make attack on China. Since the Mongolites used to attack on China to protect from the foreign invasion, they built a Great Wall of China. This Great Wall of China is about 22 feet of height and 20 feet of width. Its length is about 2,380 kilometers of length. Why it was built? To protect from foreign invasion. Who built this Great Wall of China? Shi Huangdi. If we come to China, there were the great philosophers in China. There are three great philosophers we can find in China. One is called Lao Tse, another one is called Confucius, the third one is called Mencius. These are three members we call the great philosophers who were lived in the China. The first, Confucius, he was a great philosopher. He was born during the time of Lu Kingdom, that was in 571 BC. He also worked in different capacities. He worked as a teacher, he worked as an editor in a newspaper, even he worked as a judge, and he was worked as a minister. The philosophy which was founded by Confucius, they called as Confucianism. The another Chinese philosopher, we called him as Lao Tse. He also lived almost 600 BCE. His philosophy we called as Taoism. He says not to be conservative society, should be respected the wise man. It is a duty of us to maintain sincerity and honesty. The another Chinese philosopher is none other than Mencius. Mencius was a great philosopher in China. He was lived between 372 BC to 289 BCE. He taught that every person must live with equality and we must respect each other. According to him, all the individuals are good, but social evils come due to the illiteracy, ignorance, and poverty. Mencius says, individuals all are good, but in us there are social evils. We will do the mistakes, or we are doing something wrong means that is because of our illiteracy, because of our ignorance, because of poverty, we will make a mistake in the society. Dear students, so far we have discussed about Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, even Chinese civilization. The rulers of Egypt, we call them as Paroha. The writings of Egyptians were called as hieroglyphics. The kings who ruled the Egypt, we call them as Paroha. Who was the most famous king of Amorites? Hammurabi. The last queen of Egypt was Cleopatra. Students, few more questions I'll give you. You learn and come. We'll meet you in another class. That is, how the mummies are preserved. Can you write a note on the pyramids? Why we call Huanghe River as China's sorrow. So far, we have discussed about Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization, even we have discussed about Chinese civilization. Students, I am Mr. Jerome. I am working as an assistant master at St. Joseph's High School, that is Branch Square in Bangalore.